Welcome to our channel on near-death experiences, NDEs. We'll explore stories of people who've been on the brink between life and death, returning with new perspectives. These accounts offer a unique glimpse into existence, life's meaning, and the universe. Each video is a journey through transformative experiences and spiritual discovery. We're creating a space of understanding and sharing for these extraordinary stories. Whether you're here out of curiosity or seeking comfort, we hope to bring you peace and awareness. Join us on this journey of spiritual exploration. Every moment is an opportunity to grow and love. Thank you for being here with us.
I'd like to share with you a very vivid dream I had several years ago. In the dream, I found myself walking in a crowded space when, in the distance, I spotted a cave. For some mysterious reason, I felt drawn to it and decided to investigate. As soon as I entered the cave, I noticed a small group of primitive men sitting around a fire in the center. From the tone of their voices, it seemed they were discussing something important. As soon as I approached, they stopped talking, and one of them stood up and came towards me. He stood for a moment, smiled, then took my hand and led me out of the cave, towards a carousel that was near the entrance. On the carousel were hand-painted wooden figures that looked like fairies or little men. As we approached, the carousel began to move in a circle and play invigorating music. The primitive man pointed towards the carousel, indicating that he wanted me to get on. It looked exciting and I knew it would be fun. I jumped on, and immediately the carousel accelerated until everything became blurred. In an instant, many lives passed, and I had an awareness of myself equal to many different people in many different times, in the past and in the future. Suddenly, I found myself suspended in space, where I was the only thing that existed. It was total darkness, but for some reason I was surrounded by a brilliant light. In fact, I was that light. I was all that existed. There was nothing else but me. Nevertheless, I was pervaded by pure joy, by unconditional love, and there was such a sense of greatness that cannot be described. It resembled an orgasm multiplied to infinity. Time didn't exist. I was time. Only I existed. Just me and nothing else. I had been here forever and would remain here forever. The only thought that crossed my mind was that everything was wonderful, but I had to make a movement. I had to create an energy flow. At that precise moment, I felt the overwhelming urge to produce an energy flow. I knew that if I moved, energies would set in motion and creation would take place. Moved. I saw galaxies forming around and within me. The universe had been created and stars were born. It was exciting. The more excited I felt, the more galaxies were created. Another thought that crossed my mind was how exciting it would be to explore this new creation. As soon as this thought crossed my mind, I was born. This NDE inspired me to compose a poem, which I'd like to share with you. Dedicated to all those who seek the truth. In the abyss of eternity, where dimensions, width, nor weight exist, I basked in ecstasy and lived as the spark of a more divine shining light. I was aware of my being and didn't question how I came to be. While reflecting with perfection, I knew nothing existed outside of me. Then came a feeling of loneliness that was difficult for me to recognize and bear. I wondered if there was something I could love or care for. As eons passed in the eternal present, I continued to enjoy bliss. But somewhere in a melody, I felt the strong desire to create and unfold. I knew when I was about to act, energy would then be created and spread. In eternity, plans conceived with love and patience now come to fruition. Finally, in a short time, the decision was made to move and act. So a white and brilliant light spread in which infinite love revolved. After the void, boundless dimensions were created. Looking around in wonder, I couldn't resist continuing to create. More love and energy were poured, which flew to distant realms. In the newly created galaxies, new worlds took shape, made of earth and sky. As I looked up at the new creation with infinite joy and sacred delight, there were many worlds to know and to imbue with truth and light. As soon as I had this thought, it quickly dispersed into infinite worlds. Particles of my being continued to fragment and become part of all physical matter. With interest and delight, I observed my creations with infinite joy. But for some reason I missed something and needed greater completeness. I needed someone to commune with and love for all my days to come. Someone to share my thoughts with and someone to share my habits with. To live each wonderful day with extreme joy and for complete fullness. Together to share our delicate love with hearts full of infinite kindness. Everything has been done and all forms have been completed. When I looked around, there was nothing else I needed. The evolution of the species of humanity is part of the material world. The voice of the divine spark now spoke softly in this reality. Man's advances in science have been grand and deadly. As for the voice of great wisdom, man has willingly chosen not to listen. In time and space, man has continued to think of wars and affliction. If only he knew he had been a co-creator and accepted it by faith. In deep despair, a man lay tormented on a stormy night. There was nothing he could do, even when he tried with all his earthly might. The heavens with fury and affliction he called out loudly, asking for help from any heavenly being, any at all. Instantly in the room of despair, there was a flash. My beloved, your prayers have been answered even before you asked. The voice so gentle and courteous said, wisdom is now yours and your new life begins today. With infinite joy, the man looked around the room for someone else besides him. Suddenly, without a doubt, he understood the words, man, know thyself. For all those who seek the truth, there is always the Lord, to help you and comfort you in all your calamities. Listen carefully to the divine voice, and in perfection each day will begin. Do not go in search of paradise, for it is within you that you must look.
If you enjoyed this video or you're interested in the topics we cover on this channel, I'd be really grateful if you could subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Share the video with someone you think might appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Preface: near-death experiences, NDEs, can be profound, life-changing events. Remember, NDEs are subjective experiences, not proof of an afterlife or a guide for living. Channel purpose: this channel shares NDE stories and information, providing a platform for open discussion without promoting specific beliefs. Disclaimer: this content doesn't replace professional medical or psychological advice. If struggling with mental health issues, seek professional help immediately. If you've had an NDE and need support, consult a therapist experienced with NDEs. We don't promote suicide or self-harm. If considering suicide, contact a prevention lifeline immediately. Suicide prevention resources: National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Crisis text line, text HOME to 741741. Conclusion: we hope you find this channel informative. For questions, please contact us. Remember, suicide prevention is crucial. If you're struggling, seek help. You're not alone.